Showtime. Go west, young lady. Folks are waiting. So let's see if I can find out what's going on in the world. Hello, Maria Graham. Hello, Sissy Joanne Stevens. Hello, hello, hello. And thank you for coming to the GQUAT Garden Quilt and Art Show Family Reunion Bus, where good friends become family, and family is everything. So, why am I looking down on my phone? I'm looking at it because I would like to see if I could find garden quilt and art traditions. It's not trying to come up, but you guys will be coming up soon. Why? Because it takes a few minutes. Oh, here they come. They rolling in the club tonight. Oh, yes, they are. My Renaissance grandma, thank you for coming. She said she's listening while eating dinner. Crafty Leo, thank you for coming. And welcome, welcome, welcome. I thank each of you for hitting the like button after you wipe that eggplant parm off your fingers. No, I don't know, my Renaissance grandma. I know you're vegetarian. I don't know if you're vegan. I do know that though, because I do pay attention. So why can't I pull up my own channel? Gordon. Oh, here we go. And the last shall be first, right? Crafty Leo, I had so much fun with you all. Hope you don't mind me picking at you when I pick at you and Rachel. I have so much fun. Hey, Mike's Chaotic Gardening. That is what is the fun. Like with people who quilt and they used to have like these quilt guilds and quilting things going back throughout history, and the grandmothers used to get together. My aunt was telling me that my grandmother had a big dining room table, really, really big, because there was grandma and grandpap. Her mother lived with them, Grandma Hope, who was my great grandmother, and my grandma Della had 10 kids, and then they had a farm, and the farm, you needed lots of people, as many bodies as came there. If you could fit them in there on a pallet, on a bed, on whatever, that's what you did. Hey, Val, the jewelry spot. Thank you for coming. I need your phone number, Crafty Leo. I need to be able to mail something to you and see how you're doing, Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick. Y'all, I had a wild week this week. I'm just going to chit chat while people are falling up here in the club, in the GQUAT family reunion bus. Well, first, I want to say if you're visiting for the first time, welcome, and I thank you. If you are in the bushes, what that means for people who are new to YouTube or whatever, and you say in the bushes, it means that they're watching the show, but they're not in on the chat, or people don't know that they're there, so they just say in the bushes. It's really kind of fun, and it all matters whether you give a thumbs up, thumbs down. It all matters. It all counts in the algorithm, and everything matters. I'm looking at, what are you doing? This I'm talking to this phone. It's spiraling and spiraling and spiraling because I was trying to see something. I don't know what it was. Sissy Joanne Stevens, I see you in here. Oh, you're back. You're back, Maria Graham. So, you guys, this was the craziest week. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I had medical appointments. Thursday, I had to go to the post office, and little things like that. When I went to the dentist, I had to accidentally go in the Dollar Tree, and just this, that, and the third. Then Thursday, after the Live Friday, I had 3 doctor's appointments. Sissy, Joanne, did you get your seeds? Mike. Oh, Mike, guess what? You guys, for those of you who don't know, well, there are before Mike's here, so we'll talk about him first. WIG Grow Off is in, I don't know, a couple of weeks in. It's not too late. It's not too late to join. I'm not sure if Joanne got her seeds yet. I will ask her in a few. Sissy, let us know. I will tell you what, Mike, the seeds that I planted when I was out there in December, some of them finally, they had a couple monsoons. A monsoon, you guys, is when crazy rains come down. Crazy, where like 6 inches come down in an hour and the water goes over the curb. The pool fills up, runs over. It's crazy water. Francesca, thank you for coming and welcome. Hope you'll be able to listen in or stay in later on, because I'm going to show how to do some hand sewing today. So without further ado, because Nikki will be coming on in a little while in the chat, and Stacy, Hands in the Dirt, and probably Bouger Prepper. So I have so much I want to tell you. Mike sent me seeds, even though I couldn't read his right what he sent me. Oh, you guys, Miss Patty, thank you for coming and welcome. And thank you. He sent a nice little card. Thank you, Mike. I am so looking forward to him. And I already know that my little arrow garden, I put, what did I put in there? A couple of Tiny Tim tomatoes in. More grew in than I expected. So I moved one of those over. Only a couple of something fermented, not fermented, germinate. I'm so tired. I can't even speak English. But I do know this. I have a couple of these, Sissy, and I drink a lot of moringa tea. I can't wait to clip these and plant them. I'm going to plant them. You want to see more on my fabric postcards, Francesca? No problem. No problem. Actually, there are a couple videos. I'll see if I can share them out. There are a couple whole videos where we spent like the whole hour doing them, but we will talk about those. But if I could just tell you guys some of the seeds Mike sent, because Joe Grow Big TV, also Garden State Gardener, they're having a new challenge. Mike's WIG 2023 is in session. He is in along with, well, what is it? GT Junior Grows in Alaska. Don't get tired. You sent my email and I can send them over. Okay. Yes, I do have it. And I want to plant some beets. I showed a video on Facebook or some pictures, and everybody either loves or hates beets. And they were the Detroit dark red beets. And I'm like, I don't know if I have time to crawl up there and wreck something. I will show you guys this, though. Dun, 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 dun. The shelf that was black on Thursday got dusted and turned over by someone other than me. Then I flipped it over again, but the books are going up. All those empty books in the bookcase are things I want to talk to you about. But real quick, I want to go over some of the seeds that Mike sent his auntie. So I have lipstick peppers, moringa seeds. I have all these, you guys. I just want to tell you because I'm so excited. I never had this many peppers. I had bell peppers, a few others, Thai peppers, Scotch bonnets. These are going in the Arrow Garden before this weekend is over. Sweet something bell. Okay. Mike's 2023 corn, pumpkin spice peppers, Tigger melons. I will be sharing some of these. I already heard the dirt. Crafty Leo has been a member for, does it say 5 months? She's one of our patron members, and I appreciate you, Crafty Leo. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of you, the moderators, the channel members. Joanne, those of you who are channel members, if you click on your name, I think that's how you show you're a patron member. Here's a fish pepper. I can't wait to do that. I never had any of these. You guys, I have been gardening. I have been gardening for over 70 years. Since I was 2 years old, and Daddy took us outside and poked my little finger and said, put two seeds in the hole. He was a farmer. They couldn't afford for food not to grow. So he always put two in the hole. And he usually left them there. He fertilized them and everything grew. We always had so much food. Blue butterfly plea. I can't wait because I want to make some tea out of that. Something, I think a blue gem pepper. I know pepper seeds when I see them. So I know they are some kind of pepper seed. And and oh, the Georgia roaster squash, like Seymour. Seymour. Oh, Crafty Leo has been a member for that long. You love it here. I love you. I love you. This didn't take long. I got it before planting season. Silly rabbit. I'm just thankful to have them because I was going to tell you, I've been gardening all of my life. I bought my first house by myself when I was 24. And I've always had a house, I've always had garden, mostly flowers, and the things that I grew were the things that I grew up with. Now that you guys are sending me seeds and I'm reading about other things, I'm growing more things, different things. And I'm so happy. I'm like spreading my little wings, spreading my little wings. So I want to tell you guys a couple of things. First of all, it is Black History Month. And what is Black history? Black history is American history. Everybody in here is American, or here legally, I assume. And they they didn't teach African American history, Black history in school. This is a chance for all of us to get to know something about each other. We didn't start the Civil War, we didn't end it, but we do all have to live on this earth right now together. I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps saying this because we have to get along regardless of what our religion is, what regardless of race, regardless of nationality. We are in this world together and we are going to need each other to make it here in the United States, wherever. Speaking of that, I want to tell you guys about of a couple of books I wanted to tell you that I have in the bookcase. This book is about Russia. This book was published, I looked at it in 1958. I was going to take it out of the bookcase and take it downstairs and share it because this is basically a I don't want to say anything incorrect. This neighborhood was a Jewish neighborhood years ago. I used to own a house a few blocks over, and it was the city of Westville was annexed to the city that I live in now for the tax base. I lived across the street from a synagogue, and the Orthodox Jews walked on Saturday to synagogue. They didn't use cars. So sometimes they would sit on my wall. I had a brownstone wall. That house was built in 1927, and it was an historic an old historic house. And I used to see everybody walking with their hats on their beards, pushing their kids. And some of the neighbors in my building, a lot of them are Russian, a lot of them are Ukrainian. You know how I found out? Because I always knew how to say dobre utro. That's how you say hello in Russian. Well, after this last war broke out, a couple of the neighbors told me, "Oh no, I am from the Ukraine," and you say "Dobre ranuk." One, I must say it pretty good because one day I was out front and I said it to a lady, and I guess she was lonesome. She came over to me and she started. Brrr. I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Those are the only words I knew. She started she started talking to me, but I wanted to share some of the information in here. Like, I know it's old because it was published in 1958. It said from Poland to the Pacific, Czechoslovakia to China, from Finland to Alaska, the vast land of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics spreads halfway around the world, across Europe and Asia. Nearly three times the size of the United States, the Union is the largest single state in the world. In the world. So I thought that was amazing. One of my neighbors who doesn't live here anymore, her daughter came and got her. She was about 100 years old, and she loved, loved, loved Mr. Hershey. She was in a concentration camp. Speaking of slavery, we're speaking of slavery all over the world. Slavery still exists. There are women, men, children who are enslaved. My Renaissance grandma was saying, is speaking now to everybody. And uh, again, the international sign for I'm in trouble is to curl your thumb over and bend your fingers down, and be on the lookout for that, because a lot of people, men, women, and children, are being taken against their will. We all share the same father, but different mothers. Amen, Francesca. And I just want to show you a few different books that I have up there. And by the way, my family is international and interracial, and we speak many languages. We're from different countries, different nationalities. Auntie Joanne Stevens is speaking from Facebook. Hi, Sissy. Thank you for coming. This book was written by one of my former machine guys. When I used to have my quilt studio, I had 35 machines. There was something wrong with every one of them every month. I mean, with at least one of them every month. And this guy was a Vietnamese soldier, and he was on the last flight that left Vietnam to come to the United States. He married an American wife, and he wrote this book, You Must Live. His name was Tuan, and I bought two books from him. This one is autographed, and it was telling about what it was like living over there. Oh, Mike, apparently Joanne Stevens got her seeds, and she's saying thank you. This book that fell off the shelf is about Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was a famous conductor on the Underground Railroad, which was not actually a railroad, but a method of slaves escaping the South, escaping slavery. And she was born on March 10th. March 10th is my only daughter's birthday, and it's Gina's birthday. So I kept that book out to show you guys. This book, I love books. This book is a book by one of my friends who's a fiber artist. Her name is Bisa Butler, and her father-in-law went to Howard University with me when I was a majorette, a freshman majorette. And in the band, the marching band, her father-in-law was captain of the football team at Howard University, Nikki's alma mater, I might add. So Bisa makes a lot of colorful art quilts. You can get a book from the, let me pull this down a little bit so I don't have to hold it up so much. You can get a book from the library. You can purchase a book on Amazon. And she takes fabric and makes all these different art quilts. She's quite well known in the quilting circles. These two books are books from around here in this vicinity. And the reason I took them out is because I was one of the featured artists 25 years ago for the International Festival of Arts and Ideas. They paid me to go to several neighborhoods and teach fiber arts. I taught how to make rugs out of fabric, how to make a community quilt. This mask is actually upstairs in one of my friends' apartments because another one of my friends made masks. This is an art form that some of you might be interested in. Francesca said her children, and she has started a lot of colored people in her history lessons with homeschooling. Good for you, Francesca. I say, Howard, you know. And there's a couple paragraphs. I taught for the International Festival of Arts and Ideas 2 different years, and that was like 25 years ago. This was an interesting book. Another one of my friends challenged me to write a book. You know how I speak in like hola, buenos dias, or Latin, or different languages? I know a couple of words in a lot of languages, but I had this book in Swahili, and it is the Swahili alphabet. I know how to say a few words, and I was going to teach my grandchildren, my great grandchildren rather, how to say a few words in Swahili. So this is just one of the books I have in there. And my friend challenged me to write a book. I have a great great grandson who is 3 years old, and I say different things and languages. So I'm going to write a children's book with some child going around and saying hello and goodbye in different languages. Some of you know about Flat Stanley. Flat Stanley is a book about a little boy. The whole bookcase fell, or something fell on him. His dad accidentally mailed him to someplace. And then, as part of teaching children to read, the different libraries and schools were sending Flat Stanley to different countries or different places. And the family and friends would take pictures, and then the kids would put the pictures on the bulletin board. Long story short, my great granddaughter sent Flat Stanley to North Carolina before I even got him from the mailbox down at the road, and walked 100 yards up to the house. I put the envelope down on the ground, and the goat grabbed it and ran away and ate Flat Stanley. So the kids had to send another Flat Stanley so that I could finish the assignment, piquing his interest when he hears different languages for sure. Well, we speak different languages in the house, in the house, and he is learning different things, and I even know a few words in American Sign Language. This book, actually, these two books are books from the Agency on Aging nearby, and I took it out to show you that Auntie Ellen had some of her pieces that were in some of the exhibits. I do exhibit my art, and it's not just quilting. Some of these pieces that were in this show, I sold a couple for $425, for $625, and these are the names of the quilts, so that you know that I really am an artist. This is a different year that I was teaching it. So I say all that to say that, am I Was that my career growing up? No. I was in business all of my life. It was after I retired. When I started quilting when I was 50, I took my first college art class. I used to draw a little bit, do a little bit of everything. Auntie Joanne is the one who's been an artist all of her life. I mean, every day of her life. She was born sketching and drawing and doing things, but not me. This is an interesting book. Make the impossible possible, you guys. And it's ways on how you can make your dream a reality. This is a book that we will be going over because Zentangles are a modern word, but you take little squares and draw designs on them. And I have lots of little designs, and you take one every day. It's supposed to be meditative. Back in India, Pakistan, thousands of years ago, they did it, but they called them mandalas. Now they're called Zentangles. Don't ask me why. Things go around, like different fashions go around, and they just go around and go around. Now, this is an interesting book. Francesca, I don't know how old your children are, Crafty Leo. What this book is about, Once There Was a Night. Do you see what these kids are playing with? They're not on their iPad. They're not on their cell phone. They're taking boxes and making forts and things like that, hands on making things. They're taking pieces of fabric. Uh, this one is like finding treasure. They're making goblets. They're doing things with their hands. Angel hears my voice and she's cutting up. I put Mr. Hershey in the room and close the door because when he hears me say JOANNE, he starts acting a fool. And this is how I grew up. When we made forts out of boxes, when it used to snow in Connecticut, we got big snows. We used to take boxes, pile them up with snow, make igloos, and it was just fun. Hello, Happy Mac. If I didn't say hello, I'm just giving you guys a quick brief thing about what some of these books are. I'm a very diverse reader. This I'm going to leave out because I'm trying to encourage each of you to do something 15 minutes a day minimum. But what this is, I don't know who gave this to me. Probably my sister Joanne. Francesca, you have children 4, 8, 11, 13, 16, and 18. You look so young. I didn't think you were that much older than 18. God bless you. God bless you. So, this is an art journal where you draw and print in it. I have so many journals, and it's a sit quietly with a journal. And journals, writing is an art, literary skills are an art. And so, I'm going to fill this journal in as part of my journaling this year and do some drawing, some sketching, some painting. This one is one my sister Joanne wrote up the other day because she was doing some watercolors. When I took a formal art class, the first thing they teach you is how to paint with watercolors because watercolors are unforgiving. You get your water dirty or you muddle the colors, you end up with mud. You only have about 8 different colors plus black to start out with, and you mix them to make something. And this is a good book on everyday watercolor. Oops, what's in here? Oh, I was looking for this. This has been missing 4 years. This has been missing for years. It's a coaster that I apparently used for a. Oh, you'll be 40 in May. Oh, God bless you. I've got shoes that young. This is a book on watercolor. But one of the things I wanted to show, you know who, she's not in here right now, but she's probably in the bushes or something, because it teaches how to paint and draw an elephant. Rachel, Unbiased LLC, her favorite thing. And then it shows you how to fill it in. For those of you who are not familiar with painting and drawing, the farther away things are in the distance, the lighter they are. The close, they're like gray. The mountains, everything is gray. When you're painting, you water your colors down to show depth. The farther away they are, the lighter they are. As you get close, you put the full brilliance in. Your heart is fuller than your hands. Joanne Stevens, they're hoping you had a good day. And this is showing the progression of painting this elephant. I like elephants. I used to have a collection of elephants, but most of them are gone now. They won't fit. I have one elephant that's new. You see the difference in from the first painting to the other, and this is just with watercolors. So how to paint an elephant. So that's enough of that book. This was just a cute little book called The Rainbow Fish, and I loved it. I read it sometimes to my great grandson. I just liked it because the fish is so colorful, and I show him, and he puts his fingers on it. And these actually belonged to his mother and his aunt, because I have their name on the back. This is one of the books I used to read to them, and this is about a rainbow fish. And I took it out because my challenge to write a book, I was looking at how few pages were in this one, and it's really thick pages for small children, and they love me. I'm making noises and little tiny little things, and they just love it. Oh, Sharita. Sharita, you guys, is my only granddaughter. And I said she was my great granddaughter. Last week, she's my granddaughter. She says, Mommy is watching. I love you too, Rita. Love you. I'll call you guys after I get off. And I'm talking about the kids in Rai Rai when Nana reads to him when I go there. That's my granddaughter who does my hair. And when she's braiding it or twisting it, I have like 8 hours to spend entertaining Rylan and reading and clapping and doing things together. Then I wanted to show you what caused that bookshelf to crash. I was trying to put my new book up there, my herb Bible, and I was trying to put it near this book. This is one of my aromatherapy books that Sharita, some of my friends who have become family, and family is everything. Good friends become family. And there's mother, people are saying hello to you and Rita. My mother she doesn't miss a Saturday or a Thursday. And there was always one child who was getting into everything. I don't know who that was. I don't know who that was. Or Sharita was doing my hair. I was saying, and then one of her daughters was saying, "Who was the worst one that you had when you had 6 children, Grandma? Who was the worst one whose hair you had to do?" And my mother's pointing at me. I am so tender-headed. Crafty Leo saying, "Hello, Mother," and "Hello, Rita." So these are some of the aromatherapies, and those of you who will be entering Planner Garden TV, some of you are already planting herbs. These are some of the things. I didn't bring it out here, but I have a vaporizer. I have a big 1 gallon one that Sharita bought me, my granddaughter, and it puts out a gallon of water a day. And I was filling it up, and it was heavy, and I went to put it down, and I sloshed water everywhere on the electrical cord, and it wouldn't plug in anymore. So I got the other one, but the other one I have is a small one that my daughter gave me, who was Sharita's mom. That I told you there's 6 living generations. They might all be in the chat watching, watching, and just to see what Nana's doing. And they know I'm going in the hospital next week. So they want to see what I'm doing, make sure that I'm okay. Who could who be? Happy Mac. So now I want to talk about something about quilting because I took some fabric out. And those of you who are going in these thrift stores, cover your eyes, Francesca, so you don't see this. But these are Crown Royal bags. Am I saying it right? Crown Royal. And I bought these. I bought these in a secondhand store in Arizona. Why? Because most of them, I think they're purple, which is my favorite color. And these are favorite quilts. You cut them apart, cut the Crown Royal out, and you use this. You use whatever you have. You use whatever you have for fabrics. So I have all of these. Then I have some more that I bought in North Carolina. North Carolina. Those of you who have 15 minutes a day to spare, this is a bunch of batik fabrics that I use some of my 15 minutes a day ironing fabric. These are 2.5 inch strips already sewn together, already folded in half, Crafty Leo, that when I get ready to use for a binding, I think I made these for a binding for a special quilt that I hand sew the binding on my special quilts, the ones that I show in different exhibits, just because when you show quilts or you want to exhibit them, the ones that are handmade get more attention from the judges. I was a quilt show judge once, and I used to judge long arm quilting, and we always gave more priority to the ones that were done by hand. These are strips of different fabrics, all these different colors. I don't know if you can see them. I'm not going to take them out because I want to stay on for about an hour and go over to Nikki. But I love batiks, and these are like a gazillion different colors. A gazillion different colors. So there are some companies, Connecting Threads is one, and they have, you can buy like fat quarters. I dropped a seed, Mike. Not my butterfly pea. That's one of my favorite ones. I can't wait. What is what's supposed to mean, dear? So I'm going to be using this for binding, but to keep the edges from getting all raveled up, I just put them in a plastic bag. While this bookshelf was down, because these are three chairs sitting here. This one is a leather Queen Anne chair, and these two velvet chairs I keep over for extra seating. But I have stuff underneath them, and they're hard to reach, so I have to pull them out from the wall. And behind these quilts are several books, but underneath the two bottom shelves, I have little totes with fabric in it. So I had a chance to snatch some of it out today, and probably I'm going to do a giveaway. I have 1,465 family members now. When I get to 1,500, because these are already cut, I'll measure them in a minute. They're probably 6.5 inch squares because I do a lot of things with 6.5 inch square. Crafty Leo gifted 5 memberships today. Oh, yes. I wanted you to cover your eyes when I was showing the Crown Royal, Francesca. So, you guys, these are, and the way I'm going to do my next giveaway, and I'll announce when I learned this from Joe, what is it? Garden State Gardener, Grow Big TV. And I'm going to do a comment picker. So start practicing going into the comments at the end and leaving a message, and I will put your name in to pick some fabrics, and I will be doing different things, but these are already cut for those of you who don't like to cut. And why did I take this out, mentioning some that don't like to cut? Because I have to answer a question from Thursday. Oh, and I will be doing a giveaway with some of these. These fabrics, I yes, these fabrics are by an Australian fiber artist called Kate Fassett, and he loves flowers. He loves flowers. I'll take a couple of these out. So these are my own fabrics that I bought by the yard, and I cut them into fat quarters. You see this, Crafty Leo? You see all the look, her eyes are bugging out her head. Do you notice this green? What was on this green? Remember the border that was on the quilt that Hudson is getting? This is the same green because I used it for a neutral. Look at all these flowers, flower fabric. These are just the greens. I separated them by color. I'm not going to be gifting all those. Hey, our treasured home, it's almost time for your surgery. You guys, let's everybody take a moment of silence. If you pray, pray. If not, just a moment of silence for those who are suffering here, around the world, in our families. Amen. And so, Crafty Leo, our treasured home, look, all the, mind you, these were yardages that I cut up. This is what I did, like with some 15 minutes a day. Look at this one. Oh, I just want you to see the colorful fabrics. Wait, I want to show you guys just some more. And I have a lot of friends who quilt. One of my friends, her husband quilt. Look at this. Look at these rich colors. So I'll probably make a blend of these. A jelly roll is actually 42 fabrics. This, I probably won't. This is one of my best fabrics. Oh, I love this one. And I cut this because this is actually going in my daughter's quilt, her Mother's Day quilt. I bought fabrics for her quilt years ago and she didn't get it yet. I only have two hands. And you guys know I stay busy. Look at these fabrics. I know Kay Renee's cooks. Yes, she cooks. She has a family. Of course she cooks. But I know that she sews. So I'm going to take a few minutes and show you guys how to do some sewing by hand. Look at these. Look at these flowers, you guys. So these are going to, what I do is instead of buying jelly rolls, and they run anywhere from $40 to $50, whatever. Crafty Leo can tell you, Unbiased can tell you, but I found that they have they have jelly rolls at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to go in there this week looking for the trying to run down some of those black and white ones she had. Hi, 10, the educated naturals. Nancy, our treasured home, says all those pinks and purples. So now I want to show you something because this quilt. Oh, wait a minute. I always have so much to show you guys. These are just some other neutrals. I don't put like straight white fabric and quilts white. Why? Because I'm racist? No, because who's going to keep a white quilt clean? As soon as you get on it, the kids run down it. You can't keep them, and they wear out. Donna Bright, love from sunny Pennsylvania. Your bold colors make me happy. Donna Bright, half of my whole family is in Pennsylvania. My mom is from Pennsylvania. Yes. Mom Clara, this might be some of your family in there. I don't know. So these Crafty Leo are 10-inch blocks and 6.5-inch blocks. I cut a lot of 6.5-inch blocks because I use them in a bunch of quilts. These are 5-inch blocks that are already cut up. This is Schwarzwar. This is a special kind of African fabric that comes from South Africa, and it's licensed by the government. That's hard to get. But I want to show you some fabrics that I pulled out. I didn't have enough for a backing for this, and I had some ugly random fabric. I'm not putting that in my quilt. So I'm going to piece this together. I'm going to put this hand-dyed piece in the middle of the back. So it's going to be a double-sided quilt, actually. I'm going to put this in the middle. And then that blue and this and this. This is like a hand-dyed fabric. You have to feel these fabrics. Come see Philly. Philly is nowhere from here. I change planes in Philly sometimes when I go to Arizona. I love Philly. I have a lot of family in Philly. In fact, one of our Penke family reunion is going to be in Philly this year or next year, and the Thomas family, which is my mother's side, is going to be there. I just want you guys to see all these colors. These are all batiks. These are some of the ones that I cut those other fabrics out of. So going some more fabric. These are half yard pieces, Crafty Leo, that I'm going to take apart and put them on the back of this quilt so that I have enough pretty colors that I like that's going to be on the side next to me. Okay. This, you guys, since my family's on the thing, Mommy, I'm going to make a neck bone pillow for Rai Rai out of this. I thought it would be cute. He has a yellow pillow that he's loved since before he was born. That's going to be the backing for this quilt. It's going to be pieced together into strips, sissy. It's not a backing. It's going to be a pieced backing. I don't have enough of any one to make minions to make it. I thought Rai Rai would like this bright yellow fabric and we'll make up a story. So before we go real quick, I had this bag out last week and Karen asked me a question and I forgot to answer it. We were so busy, and she asked how big this bag is. And I want to show you something inside. This is my friend's label she put on the inside. I have to get some new labels, some heavier duty one. So I measured it, Karen. But you can make it any size you want. Now, when you're making these squares, Crafty Leo and Unbiased will tell you, you have to leave extra room for the 1/4-inch seam. If your 1/4-inch seam is bigger than that, you're going to have to make extra blocks. So these were some of the 6.5-inch blocks that she cut out. She cut them out herself. So this bag, if you want to make a super, super big one, is 24 inches wide. It's 13 inches long for those of you who are writing it down. Those of you who are writing it down. And then the bottom part is 8 inches and it's 13 inches on this side. So you have to decide. She actually pieced this together in 2 pieces. So these are 6.5 inch blocks. You can make them with 5.5 inch blocks. You can buy them pre-cuts in charm squares. You can buy them in the layer cakes. You can buy them however you want them. However you want them. Yes, this it's not going to be, the back is not going to be as colorful as the front, sissy. That rainbow is going to be in the middle, and then going around it are going to be plain colors one at a time to make it big enough. Planter Garden TV, we were talking about your herb challenge starting on March 1st. So you guys, let's go over and do something real quick, because I don't want anybody to leave here today who can't sew something. Put a 1 in the chat if there's anybody in here who can't sew a single thing. Can't sew one single thing. Because whether you're a prepper, whether you what did you guys do when there was a shutdown and the whole country was shut down? If you got a hole in your pants or something needed to be fixed, what do you do? So, hello, Kay Renee, if I didn't say it already. So you guys won't be able to see my face for a minute. I'm going to move this because I have a more important assignment. Oh, you guys, I don't think my daughter's in my mother's room. Look at these fabrics. When I pulled the bookcase out, this is my daughter's writing. These are the fabrics that I bought years ago for her quilt. And it's all these beautiful muted soft colors. So what are we going to do? I'm going to show you, Francesca, how to sew 2 blocks together. These are 6-inch blocks that were cut. This is enough to make a quilt, and they're all beautiful colors. Now these I would normally pair with 1 colored block and 1 black one. I like to put blacks with these colors, or in this case, I cut a lot of single color fabrics to match with those. So let's get 2 of those out. Oh, I just saw something cute I thought you guys might like. You see this one? This is one I fussy cut. You see, Crafty Leo? This is one that I cut to use. This is what you do your 15 minutes. So all these I cut myself with a rotary cutter, but just for fun, I'm going to take this. For those of you who don't sew, Francesca, this is especially for you. I'm going to take 1 plain colored block. 1 print color. This is not plain. It actually has a little something in it. And you put the right sides together. I know what a 1/4 inch is because I've been sewing, oh my gosh, for over 70 years by hand. So I already have some needles threaded. For those of you who don't know what a 1/4 inch is, you get a ruler and you draw a 1/4 inch line. Okay? So I'm just going to, or you can take a piece of tailor's chalk and draw a line straight across. But the thing about using chalk is that it's thick. You won't get a fine line. Francesca, I get fabrics everywhere. I get some from the thrift store. I buy some online. I have a couple of places. There's one called Connecting Threads. What I like about Connecting Threads is that they have whole ensembles. You know, like one of those big packs that I had, like this one. They sell ensembles. You can buy fat quarters, or you could buy half yards or yards in every color they have. Like this was like a whole color set. So I know what I did. I bought a half yard, then I cut a 6.5 inch block. I mean, a strip, five, all the way down the sizes that I use a lot. And then I put them aside. So when I get ready to do that size block, so that I could quickly show you guys when we got over here. Here is, and you can use, Francesca, you can use all purpose thread, you guys who are just starting to sew. I'm just going to show this one line and then I'm going to go over and see Nikki and Hands in the Dirt. So, you see this line? What you do for quilting, you start near the end. And in the beginning, especially, double, use the thread double. Try to get used to knotting your thread without without licking your fingers. Why? Because there's so much stuff going around and nobody wants anybody else's spit. Okay, African dreaming. Hello, thank you. So of course I put my thumb right over the camera. So we're going to just sew this across real quick. If you can see my hands. So for quilting, you don't have to backstitch. You see what I'm doing, Crafty Leo? The same thing that you and Rachel were doing the other night, making sure that I got both seams, because in hand sewing or machine sewing, you want to make sure that you get both pieces of fabric. So the first stitch, I'm going to backstitch and I'm going to pull it. Then I might, just so I can show you how to backstitch, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the stitch that I just did. Now what I'm going to do is just go, I'm trying to make sure you go up, down, up, down, up, and you just don't make them too big. But it doesn't matter. Our grandmothers sewed these quilts and they just want to get them on the bed. You see how that looks? So I'm going to make one little back stitch here, and these are called running stitches, like the running man, running stitches. So do 3 or 4 stitches straight, pull the thread through, and then go back one. This is what you do to keep it from unraveling. You will be surprised how strong this stitching is. See, Francesca? And one day, if you have time, you want to come up, anybody wants to sew by hand, I'll do it with you. But what you can do is take a little plastic bag and a needle and thread. I have friends that go on car trips with their husbands or wives or whatever, and and they take this on their lap in the front seat or whatever, it would probably make me spit up. Like sitting with the car running and the not seeing where I'm going or looking down, I would probably get dizzy. I get dizzy sometimes when you guys are walking around in your yards taking pictures and moving around. It's like, oh my goodness, my good eye's going to lose it. See? April, you don't need a sewing machine. Bayou Sugar, thank you for coming and welcome. So I'm just going to do one back stitch there. And this is how simple. It's just getting your stitches going. Then when you get to the end of the row of stitching, you make sure you backspace a little bit. You backstitch a little bit. I'm doing it twice, going through the loop. When I first started sewing, I made whole skirts by hand as a little girl in Girl Scouts. Then you take it and wrap it around your finger a couple times. Slide it through. Slide it through. And guess what? You've got one block done already, Francesca. Then what you do if you don't have an iron, you take and flip it back and you finger press it. And then you can iron it later on. So look at that. This is how you make a quilt, and you just keep going. So then I would put another one with a print and a plain one, and then I would reverse them and sew them together. This is a twosie. So two twosies together, you get a foursy. And that's how you start making a quilt. How do you feel about that, Francesca? All of you. Everybody can sew something. You're freaking no, no, no. You're not finger pressing from now on, Crafty Leo. It's just to get you started or to just for a minute, or you can use your nail, or everybody doesn't have an iron. You're not going to have an iron off grid. Let me see. They have some things at the Dollar Tree you can use for pressing. This is a all-purpose thread that I use for hand sewing. I hand sew all of my bindings on there. I saw you try to get away with it, Crafty Leo, and not press. I want to show you guys. This is called a wooden press. This is a bamboo press. It does the same thing. Hello, Kelly. I bring it every day. And let me show you the difference in using something harder than your finger. When you do it like this, they have rollers. They have different ways of doing it. This makes a harder crease. Or you can use this part to smooth it down. But I want to show you. You see how sharp that crease is? You could almost do that on your pair of slacks, right? Get you some jailhouse seams going, creases. You guys, I appreciate each and every one of you coming. So we are going to go over to the chat, Hands in the Dirt. Ego amote, Mother. Ego amote, everybody at Mother's house and in Auntie Ellen's house. This is an I in American Sign Language. This is an L. This is a U. I love you guys. Thank you for coming, and let's go hit Nikki and Stacy up, and I'll see. Oh, I have one more session before my surgery, so I'll see you guys Thursday at 4:00. Love you.